Well, welcome to www.happynumbers.org. Today's lesson, finding a percent of a number, and these are word problems or applying your skills. In the last lesson, we learned how to find a percent of a number by either changing the percent to a fraction and then multiplying by the number, or changing the percent to a decimal and then multiplying by the number. So we're going to take a look at some real world problems here. On the math high school exit exam, there were 60 problems. Billy got 80% of them right. How many problems did Billy get right? Well, really what we want to know is, what is 80% of 60? Because there were 60 problems and he got 80%. So we want to know what is 80% of 60. That'll tell us how many problems he got right. Now remember, the word of in mathematics means multiplication. So we can approach this two ways. We can do this by changing this percent into a fraction. So 80 over 100 would be the fraction, and we could cross that out and then reduce to lowest terms. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So that's the fraction, 4/5. And then we're going to be 4/5 of, so we're going to multiply by 60. And then we would cancel out. 5 goes into 5 one time. 5 goes into 60. Well, 5 will go into 6 1, with 1 left over, and 5 will go into 10 2 times. So 5 will go into 60 12 times. Then we multiply. 4 times 12 is 48 over 1, so 48. So Billy got 48 problems correct. So that's certainly one way that we can do this problem. The other way we can do this problem, keep in mind that the answer was 48. The other way we can do this problem is 80% of 60 problems. Well, we can change this to a decimal. We know we go 2 places this way. So we have 60, and we have, change it to a decimal would be this, and we know, since we have a 0, we can put the 0 out here, and get 0, 0, 48. Count the decimal places, 2 decimal places. Since it's a whole number, we don't have to put it here. So we got the same answer, 48. For this problem, for me, it's easier to change the percent to a decimal and do the multiplication rather than having to work with fractions. However, sometimes it might be easier to work with fractions. You'll have to decide that. But Billy got 48 problems right. Good for him. Let's take a look at another example. The auditorium at Alhambra High School holds 360 people. 90% of the seats were filled at the last school assembly. How many students attended the assembly? Well, okay, actually, so what we want to know, what is 90% of 360? Because if we can figure out what 90% of 360 is, we'll know how many students were at the assembly. Well, we could put 90, we could change it into a fraction and then get 9/10 times 360, but those are yucky numbers. A simpler way for me is to use the decimal method. Change this to a decimal, so we move 2 places. So we have 360 times, and since we have the 0 there, we can just put the 0 like that. And we multiply. 0, 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 6 is 54, and I'm going to carry 5. 9 times 3 is 27, and the 5 that I carry, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Now I count my decimal places. 1, 2, 1, 2. So I don't put a decimal there because it's a whole number. I can get rid of those zeros. So if 90% of the 360 seats were filled, that means that 324 students attended. 324 is 90% of 360. Cool. All right. Sorry about blurring that up there, but that's okay. You'll know where we are. So I'm going to put a word problem up for you now this time. And I'll let you work it. You turn the DVD off, or the video off, and then turn it back on again, and we'll take a look at it. We'll read it first. The sales tax in California is 8%. I think it is actually 8%. If you buy a new jacket for $85, how much sales tax will you have to pay? Oh, this is a two-part question. How much will you pay for the jacket? And here's a hint. You have to add the price plus the sales tax to get that. Well, okay, so put the DVD on pause, work the problem, and then we'll take a look at it. Okay, so the question is, what is 8% of 85? $85. Well, again, I'm not going to use the fraction method because it can get pretty yucky. I'm going to use the decimal method. So I have $85, and I know I moved the decimal place 2 this way, 1, 2, so I wind up with 0.8. So I've changed 8% into the decimal 800ths. Now I multiply. 8 times 5 is 40. I'm going to carry 4. 8 times 8 is 64, and the 4 that I carried is 68. My multiplication is done. Now I count my decimal places. 1, 2, right there. So the sales tax is $6.80. And then it says, how much will you pay for the jacket? Well, the jacket was $85. And then if I add to that the sales tax, $6.80, 0, 8, 5 and 6 is 11. So the actual price of the jacket, the cost, what it would cost you, is $91.80. The $85 for the jacket, and then the $6.80 for sales tax. Excellent. Well, we'll do one more, and then I think our 10 minutes will be about up. So I'll put it up here, let you work it, and then shut the video off, work it, and then we'll turn it back on again. Suppose you had a job that paid $425 a week. Also, suppose that your employer took 20% of your salary for Social Security tax, which happens in the real world, by the way. How much tax would you pay each week? Okay, we'll put the video or DVD on pause, work this problem, and then turn it back on, and we'll do it together. Okay, well, this problem is asking us how much is 20% of, and of means multiplication, $425. I'm definitely not going to use the multiply by 100 here. I'm going to change this to a decimal, and we know we do that by just going over 2 places. So 425, and since I have a 0 at the end, I can put the 0 out there, and I multiply. 0, 2 times 5 is 10, put down the 0, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, and 1 is 5, nothing to carry. 2 times 4 is 8. Count my decimal places, 1, 2, and I know I don't have to put the decimal there because it's a whole number. So, if I make $425 a week, $85 is coming out of my paycheck in Social Security tax. So actually, if I make $425 and they take away $85 for tax, 0, whoops, Okay, my time is up here. I'm sorry, let me just put that on. Okay, let's just finish this. So I make 425 a week and they take 85 away. So if I subtract 85, that'll tell me how much money I actually get to take home. 5 take away 5 is 0. 2, I have to borrow. 12 take away 8 is 4, and I borrowed and made that. So actually, I'm taking home $340. Okay, so those are some real world applications in finding out a percent of a number. Thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it. See you next time.